Welcome to the first episode of the podcast here. Don't got a name for the show, just kind of testing the waters here. Brother John.
That's me.
I'm Flash. We're going to go over our preseason top 25 college football rankings today. So, what you want to start with like 25 and then work up and do them like 5 at a time?
5 at a time. Let me put a break
All right, so
in here.
you want to go first with like your 21 through 25, or you want me to go first, or?
You want to go one for one, or are we going all of them?
No, we'll just go like 5 at a time. So I'll do like my 21 through 25, and you do your 21 through 25.
All
right. So I will start with my 21st. I got Iowa at 21. Solid defense. They're always going to be cranking out a decent program. Now, I understand, you've got some additions to the Big Ten this year. However, it's a real developmental program. They always show out with a good defense. They fired their offensive coordinator. He did not return, so I expect a little bit more offensive production. I know they got some questions at quarterback. Not sure if the big boy is coming back.
Not Cade McNamara?
Is it Cade McNamara?
Is he gone? He's probably out.
No, he might be. He's still on the team, but I was pretty sure that the starter from last year, the big fella, is still there. So I got them at 21. 22 is kind of a sleeper pick, but I got SMU. I got SMU because they were pretty productive last year, and then now they're in the ACC, and I think that they could be a dark horse. Yeah, they joined the ACC.
The Athletic?
The Atlantic Coast Conference.
The Atlantic, wow.
They're in there with Cal, Stanford. Yeah, those are some new additions. So, the ACC is typically a little bit weak. I know you got some big players there with Clemson, Florida State, and the gang, but I think SMU could be a dark horse to run the show in the ACC.
They were in the ACC. That's crazy.
23, I got another ACC team, NC State.
Okay, I thought about putting them in there.
I think they had a strong showing last year. They're always a force to be reckoned with. 24, I got Oklahoma State. They always seem to be like one of those late teams, that kind of get settled midway through the season. I know they'll have, some questions at quarterback. They have
Spencer Sanders. Is he gone?
Spencer Sanders is gone after I think like 8 years there.
It's about time.
He won't be there. But, Mike Gundy, he always cranks out a good program. They're always good for at least one Big 12 upset. And in 25, I got Virginia Tech. They got the most returning starters of any team. I believe they have 21 out of 22 starters returning this year.
Wow.
Including like all of their skill positions on offense.
Chance
Wiggins is on the team. Shout out to King George High School football. But based on the teams I have ranked in front of them, Virginia Tech's one of those teams that like they're just always like right in like the 20s. Like they're just that's Kansas. Just a perfect rating for them. Like they never beat anybody better than them, but they can typically handle
too good
the small games. So that's my 21 through 25. What you got in there?
Starting at 21, I got Louisville.
Okay, strong team. Had a good showing against Florida State.
ACC, and there. North Carolina's probably going to be weak, so maybe it's Louisville's time to shine.
Could be.
22, unfortunately, I got Kansas State in there. I'm not that high on him, but Avery Johnson apparently is that guy.
They're saying that he's him.
I think he's a big rusher as well. I think he's going to be like Jason Bean, but probably better.
Well, and they got who's the Colorado running back that just transferred there?
Dylan Edwards.
It's not Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards is Michigan's running back.
I think
Dylan Edwards? I think it is Dylan Edwards, yeah. So he joined Kansas State. Him and Avery Johnson, they grew up playing together. They played
he did
youth football together. I'm not 100% sure that they played high school together. So they've already got decent chemistry. So
yeah, they might be scary.
Could be a Big 12 dark horse there, especially with Texas and Oklahoma exiting.
I forgot about them, yeah. Probably going to be Oklahoma State and Kansas State at the top.
Could be.
23, got the Hokies for kind of the same reason. They got a lot of dudes returning, and what's their quarterback's name?
Kyron Jones.
They're high on him. They like him.
It's like Cam Newton.
At 24, we got Iowa.
Okay.
Kind of the same
Respect that.
reasons. Don't really know what to expect from them. I don't know if they're going to be like the defensive powerhouse like they were this year.
I think those Pac-12 teams they're going to run into
that's going to be scary
some things
for
there. Although in
the speed of Oregon, I don't know if they've ever seen that before.
Michigan did handle them, but I think not to go too much on last year, but I think Michigan's national championship team from last year I think is probably the most underrated national champions of all time, just because they weren't flashy
sneaky dudes. Yeah,
like they just demolished people between the trenches. And I think that's why like J.J. McCarthy wasn't like some people doubted him because he never really had to
didn't look good on the paper at all.
Didn't look good on paper, but the man could convert third downs
and could catch it one-handed. Apparently,
that's what they say.
And then I said Iowa? Yeah, 25. I got Miami. Cam Ward. I'm high on Cam Ward. I think he might have a solid season in the ACC.
Yeah, he's a goon.
I think his biggest competition this season is Mario Cristobal.
That's facts, yeah. I heard they don't have a quarterback kneel in the playbook this year.
They took that out.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to take a knee.
Tough. All right. That's your 21 through 25?
That was all, yeah. That's
all right.
For them.
My 16 through 20. 16, I got USC. I think that's like a perfect ranking for them because everybody at the beginning of the year always wants to put them in the top 10. And what do? They don't deserve a top 10 ranking.
They don't.
But Lincoln Riley finally got rid of his defensive coordinator that was causing him all those issues after keeping him for all those years. And I liked what I saw from the backup quarterback in the bowl game. I thought he did pretty decent. It seemed like a pretty easy transition. Lincoln Riley teams, it really doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. Now, granted, he always has good quarterbacks playing for him, but it seems to be an easily learnable system. 17, I got Florida State. I know some folks got them a lot higher. I just think that they're going to lose a lot of production. I mean, they lost Jared Verse, their defensive end, best player on their defense. They lost Jordan Travis, their quarterback, and I was not too impressed with the backup boys. And then they lost Keon Coleman, their star on offense. So it's like they got to have a whole new identity.
And didn't they lose their running back too, Trey Benson?
Did they lose? They might. I know I saw him as a prospect. I didn't happen to look up whether he made the or whether he got drafted or not. But yeah, so Florida State. I just think that there's a lot of questions and. I think that the teams I have ranked above them, I think they can just handle business. Right behind them, I got Louisville.
18?
Yeah, 18. I got Louisville. Same kind of thing that you said. I think that, they're a growing program. Jeff Brom's definitely a pretty solid coach. I think it's only up for them.
Lamar Jackson regen, that's what they got going on over there.
Yeah, crazily, I think it was like between Teddy Bridgewater, Lamar, and Malik Cunningham. They had those three quarterbacks for how many, like 10 years or something in a row? Like three quarterbacks in 10 years? Something like that?
I don't know. Wasn't there one between Lamar and Malik?
I didn't think so because I thought that Malik Cunningham was like Lamar's backup.
Yeah, maybe he is because the Ravens signed him now.
Oh, they signed Malik Cunningham?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Then my 19, I got your boys Kansas.
Okay.
And then, I'll kind of go hand in hand. I got Kansas 19, Kansas State 20. I think you guys will be at Kansas State this year. I think this is the year you end the streak.
All we need is a healthy quarterback. The last 2 years we haven't, and 2 years ago we got cooked by him, I think. But last year we lost by like 3 points with our third string quarterback.
Yeah, but you guys have been improving. You've got Jalen Daniels coming, last year's pick for Big 12 Player of the Year.
Mr. Back Spasms.
However, I did hear that along with the way that they vote on Big 12 Player of the Year is like, for example, like some folks were saying like, why isn't it going to be Quinn Ewers last year when they said that Jalen Daniels was picked? But apparently, like the coaches of the team submit their best player who they think will be like the Big 12 Player of the Year, then it's voting. So like for example, like Steve Sark, he might not have even submitted
he probably
Quinn Ewers to be submitted there. And I guess what I've been told is that kind of like if you think you've got like a quarterback battle going on, like because they had Arch come in last year, like if they wanted there to be like a competition in the off season, they wouldn't announce like Quinn Ewers as whatever
Yeah.
preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, because then you're kind of saying that like Arch isn't going to have a chance. So, but either way, they chose Jalen Daniels. So you got Jalen Daniels, you got Devin Neal coming back, you still got Kobe Bryant, one of the
Quentin
most underrated
Skinner.
corners in the country, year after year.
No cornerback duo has more picks than them.
You got Kansas on your list still. I'll let you talk more about them then. And then, like I said, I got Kansas State at 20 because you know they're a pretty decent team, good production. Got Avery Johnson. People are raving about him.
I don't like him already. I'm already not.
And then I'll turn that over to you for your 16 through 20.
16. Starting at 16, I got Clemson.
You're low on Clemson, huh?
The bowl game against Tennessee, was it 10? That was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago. Let me see.
What happened to this year?
It wasn't pretty, but Will Shipley got injured, and
they were down to Phil Maffa that game, weren't they? I think that's their backup running
possibly,
back,
yeah.
No transfer players. I don't know if they'll be able to keep up. The ACC is kind of weak. I feel their best competition is gonna be Florida State, who
they beat Kentucky this year in the bowl game. So they did win the bowl game.
Okay, I remember that game.
But you know they got Garrett Riley as the offensive coordinator. I was expecting much better this past season, especially with a recruit like Cade Klubnik, who slapped up Quinn Ewers in the Texas State Championship.
I think about that often. I commented on a YouTube video about there was them two playing and about how Cade looked better, and kids today are coming back at me for that. And I'm like, it's 4 years after the comment. Yeah.
I mean, their offense was rolling, but they did have that one receiver who, he was a white guy, like number 21, like tall, skinny kid. I think he was number 21. I forgot his name. I know he went to a D1 program, but he was kind of carrying the torch for them.
Did he transfer out?
No, he's not on Clemson. He was Cade's receiver in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who else you got there?
17. I got KU at 17.
Okay.
If Jalen Daniels plays, I think they'll probably end up in the Big 12 championship if he plays the full season. Looking at their schedule, it's like
it's kind of a cakewalk.
Yeah, they'll probably lose to Oklahoma State as they do.
You got Utah on the schedule?
No, I don't think so. Colorado could be an interesting game.
Yeah,
that should be probably if Jalen Daniels plays, that should be a really good game.
The Kobe Bryant and
Mello Dotson out there
and Travis Hunter matchup is gonna be wild.
Yeah. I forgot
Kobe will take some reps at receiver.
They should. I forgot he'll have to guard Travis Hunter.
Probably.
But no cornerback duo has more interceptions returning than Mello Dotson and Kobe Bryant.
You love to see that.
And I think they got a linebacker from Michigan. So
transfer?
Lance Leipold's been cooking.
He's always cooking.
And right after them, I got Penn State.
Low on Penn State.
Drew Aller's not that guy. He can't get it done. He's not going to be able to handle those Pac-12 teams this year.
Was he a true freshman last year?
I think so, yeah.
Was he? I'm going to look that up. So you think that Kansas is beating Penn State in a neutral site game?
I don't think Penn State also does not have like a single notable wide receiver in their
they
program.
don't got receivers. That's a downfall for him.
I mean, I don't know who Drew Aller is going to throw the ball to. I guess he doesn't need to if they just have Project Saquon Barkley going on.
They've never had good receivers, though. Wow, this man is 6'5", Drew Aller. Okay, so they're listing him down as a sophomore, but this is his third year with the program. He just didn't play much in 2022. I guess he redshirted. He had 60 attempts and 4 touchdowns, so he was efficient last year, though. So look at his stats. Yeah, only 2,600 passing yards, 59% completion percentage, but 25 touchdowns, only 2 picks. So
yeah, he did only have 2 picks. That's true. But then they lose. Who they play in the bowl game? Did they
played Ole Miss? Yeah, they lost 38-25 in that one.
Yeah. Right after moving on from Penn State and their bumness. We got LSU at 19.
You think Kansas is better than LSU?
I think with Jalen Daniels, I think so.
Okay.
Okay. I don't believe in Cole Ballard. Without Jalen Daniels, we are like not in the top 25.
All right.
But LSU,
Big follow up. I mean, they did lose like
Yeah.
2 good receivers and
But
quarterback.
they did. I don't know when this kid's supposed to go into college, but let me look him up here. They got this kid. Let's see. When is he? What class is he? Class of 2025. Okay, LSU might have this one kid, Jaime French, who decommitted from Bama.
Was he
But
play?
he's a wide receiver, but I thought he would be going there this year. But if not, then yeah, I'm gonna keep them at 19. Then I don't think Brian Kelly's gonna cook anything up. He already went 8-4 with Jaden Daniels.
That's fair, but the defense was atrocious.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure if they made any changes on defense as far as coordinators or anything. Actually, I think he brought the defensive coordinator with him from Notre Dame, and he might have actually gone back to Notre Dame.
Smart choice. And then 20, right? 20, I got Oklahoma State.
Okay, fair pick.
I feel like Ollie Gordon's going to put the team on his back this year. They're going to be the same old Oklahoma State, either 9-3 or like 8-4 or something.
Yeah, with a running back that goes for like 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
They do best.
Yeah.
Mike Gundy being Mike Gundy. He's a man. He's 40.
He's only 40?
No, that's from his press conference where they were like, the press were like accusing his team or whatever of making bad decisions. He's like, those are kids. You don't come for them. You come for me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
That was funny.
No, that was like 20 years ago or something. We're like 15. He's probably like 55 now.
I can't believe he's still coaching them after all these years.
I mean, what do you expect at Oklahoma State? You're just Oklahoma's little brother. That's your 16 through 20?
Yeah.
All right. My 11 through 15. I got LSU at 11. I think they'll be better this year than most people think. And not necessarily because of the quarterback. I know a lot of people are raving about Garrett Nussmeier, saying he's the next guy. I'm not really sure what leads people to believe that. I think that's just kind of a thing people just say just because somebody else said it.
They just like his name.
I'm not knocking the kid, but I'll believe it when I see it. I just don't think that he's proven himself anything. I think that coach there had to make some adjustments, especially after such high offensive production last year and just that disappointing season. I think he's going to have to do something on defense to get the boys better. I mean, they call themselves DBU, and last year they were certified not DBU. They were like Dookie.
They call themselves everything U. I feel like nowadays.
It's facts.
They're about to start calling themselves QBU.
I mean, after Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, I mean,
they're one away.
They could.
They're one away.
I got Michigan at 12. I know Michigan lost a lot of kids in the draft, but they got Sharon Moore, and I think he's proven himself that he's a capable coach. He took over for Harbaugh in the first 4 games, and then he beat Ohio State. Granted, it's the same team, but same identity. So it's not like, they lost players, but it's not like a complete rebuild, I don't think. I think they got a strong culture there. I think they'll be all right. I got them ahead of number 13, Notre Dame. A lot of people got Notre Dame in their top 10, some closer in the top 5. But why though? Notre Dame is just like, they're not deserving of that. They're the same as USC. Like, people put them in the top 10.
It's when you look at the teams behind them, it's just like, are these teams better than them? And it's probably not.
They're not, no, because I mean, they'll beat up, they always have like 10-win seasons because they schedule like Stanford and Boston College, and then they lose all their hard games.
What sucks is they used to be like one of the fringe teams, but now they're going to get in the playoff because they only need to be top 12.
Yeah, but if they do get in the playoff, though, they're never going to host a playoff game.
No, they're going to get cooked.
They're going to have to join a conference because you don't get the first round bye if you're not a conference champion, and they're never going to be because they're independent. They're never going to be a conference champion.
They might as well.
They're playing nothing but away games.
Just join the Big 12 or Big 10 when
they join the ACC. They're in there for all the other sports.
Yeah, they should do that. That suits them better.
And then I got Tennessee at number 14. Rocky Top. I got big expectations for Nico Iamaleava. The dude's got a rocket. I think he's a great athlete.
Brother just committed to
I saw his brother committed. Was it Bama?
That's what I thought it was like.
It was a high level school, right?
Yeah, it might have been USC.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I know they're West Coast guys.
UCLA.
UCLA.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think he'll be a household name this year. I don't think that he'll win the Heisman. I don't know if he'll be a Heisman finalist, but maybe next year, like his junior, I could see him being a Heisman candidate, like a Jalen Daniels kind of guy or Jaden Daniels kind of guy.
And he's got basketball if football doesn't work out. He's 6'6".
He's got volleyball. He was the nation's #1 volleyball recruit. Dude's an absolute
Who even knew they
hammer.
recruited for that?
Well, I think it's a club sport in the NCAA, so I don't even know what the point of ranking recruits is. Then at 15, I got Missouri. They're coming back strong.
You're low on them.
I'm a little bit low on them. I just think that the teams I got ranked ahead of them would beat them. I'm not going to knock Missouri. I got them in my top 15. It's only up there for them, but I think that's an appropriate ranking for them.
Are they making?
Not sure what the quarterback situation is over there, but I know that they're solid. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what a guy.
But yeah, I think they'll be solid. But it's going to be a tough SEC this year. The SEC champion's probably going to have like 2 losses. I mean, because Georgia has to play Texas.
Is the SEC still doing different divisions, or did they do the ACC where it's just a conference now? I want to see.
Good question, because I know they had 14 teams before. Now they're up to 16. So it makes sense to have 8 and 8.
Okay, yes. So Mizzou's got to beat out Georgia if they want to make that SEC championship.
Yeah. So
or Tennessee.
I don't know if that's happening, but that's my 11 through 15.
Okay, 15, 11. I got Utah.
Okay, yeah, I got them high.
Yeah, they got 29-year-old Cam Rising coming back. He's got his experience to lead the reins.
Coach absolutely has USC's number.
They really do.
Saved on speed dial.
I mean, lock in Utah money line right now against USC. Number 12, Michigan.
Yep, that's where
same reasons. They got Will Johnson, probably top 5 cornerback in the country. Some say, some might say. I don't know if he is, but he might be pretty good. And then I got USC at number 13 after him.
Okay.
I couldn't put him in the top 10.
That's fair.
But I like Miller Moss. I think he showed potential in that bowl game, even though it was against like Louisville. But and they got Zachariah Brandt, who
absolute dog there.
He is a dog.
I mean, I don't know how that dude wasn't a household name last year.
I don't know. Yeah, watching his highlights, crazy. Like, wow, this dude's a freshman right now?
Yeah, dude was like taking like punt returns, like at least, I don't know what he averaged on punt returns, but he had a couple that were long that didn't even get turned into touchdowns.
And then I forgot their running back's name, but I think he's pretty good. And Lincoln Riley always cooks something up. He's probably going to turn Miller Moss into a Heisman prospect somehow. Yeah,
but they got that Big Ten schedule this year. Do they know about that?
They do have.
Does he know that he's going to have to play defense against those schools?
He's gonna. I forgot about it. I forget that he's going to have to play defense. US. After that, I got Oklahoma.
Really, you're that low on Oklahoma?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Brent Venables has it like that. He had a good year last year, I guess, but I mean, they lost General Booty. So
do they need General Booty though?
He was going to be that guy. He was their next guy, I thought.
Yeah, but they got Jackson Arnold. He's that guy. They kicked out Dylan Gabriel for Jackson Arnold, basically.
Dylan Gabriel got an upgrade going to Oregon.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he would have stayed at Oklahoma.
Stacked. They're so stacked. I don't know if Dan Lanning's decision-making will effectively use it all.
I basically heard that they told Dylan Gabriel that, like, we're going to give Jackson Arnold a chance for the starting job.
I'd be fine with that if I ended up at Oregon.
Okay.
At least right now, Oregon.
Okay.
Was that the last one? Oh, 15, right?
Yeah.
15, I got Arizona. Honestly, thinking about it, I would probably put them above Oklahoma now.
Okay.
I like Noah Fifata, Tacario Davis out at the corner, and then they got that McMillan man, who might be the most athletic receiver, other than maybe Travis Hunter, if you count him.
Okay.
And that's the last one. Yeah, 15.
All right, getting into the top 10 here. Number 6, I got Ole Miss.
Okay.
I think
they're around there for me.
I think it's their time for them. Come to the SIP. That's what they say.
I would go to the SIP if I was a player right now.
You got Jackson Dart there. I'm a little bit confused what went on down with the Quinshaw Judkins thing. Like,
Yeah,
you're going to take a starting running back
that's
job
odd.
from the SEC and then go to, well, I mean, I know it's Ohio State and they're loaded, but you either a backup or a split roll there with
You're
Travion
not going to get the
Henderson.
same amount of reps up there. He wants the ring bad, maybe.
I guess, and yeah, I guess he
feel
thought
like
that
Ole
Ole
Miss
Miss is going to
had a
have a
chance.
tough path, but yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to have a pretty solid year in the SEC. I think they're pretty well rounded. Number 7, I got Penn State. I got them that high because I just, going down the
Disgusting.
list, I just think that they beat everybody else that
How
I
much did
ranked.
James Franklin pay you to put them there?
I think that they're a solid program. I mean, they're not like, think about their losses. Like, they lost to Ohio State playoff team.
Think about their wins, though. They have 3 big games every year, and they lose all of those big games. Michigan, Ohio State, and whoever else that third one is.
Yeah, but look who they're playing. Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan's made the playoff 3 years in a row. Ohio State didn't make it this year, but I mean, they're still a 1-2 loss team.
It's time for them to win.
If Penn State was in the ACC, dude, they're running the ACC.
Probably, but the ACC is. Yeah,
that
might as well be ACC.
Number 8, I got Clemson. I'm a little bit higher on Clemson than you are. I think that they're a solid program. I think year 2 under Garrett Riley will have the offense rolling. I think there's a lot of pressure on Dabo. I don't think that, if they have a disappointing season, I don't think that he'll be fired, but I think that there might be some pressure on him to make some changes as far as accepting transfers.
On the hot seat.
I don't think that Clemson has fallen off. They had a 9-win season last year, and people are saying that the dynasty's over. They had a 10-win season for, I think, 12 years in a row. Clemson will be just fine, folks. Settle down.
They need them transfers, though.
Dabo's got faith in the program. Number 9, I got Oklahoma. I think they're a solid program. I think Jackson Arnold, he'll become a household name. Run the table. I guess it's tough for me to say because they're moving to the SEC, and they never do good against the SEC teams. However, they did beat Texas last year. Texas made the playoff, and Texas beat Bama.
I don't know.
So by transitive property, Oklahoma should be solid. They're always offensive.
Do we know what their schedule looks like?
It's probably rough. I'm going to assume it's rough.
I want to see.
Pulled up?
No, I got the Ole Miss schedule pulled up. That's
all right. I'm going to pull up the Oklahoma schedule then.
Because the Ole Miss one it's very kind to them.
Is it?
It is.
All right, so Oklahoma's got Temple win. Wait, what year? Oh, okay, here we go. All right, Houston, first game of the season. Wait, no, I was right. It's a funky format here. Temple win, Houston win, Tulane win. Tennessee, yeah, I mean, I think that they should win that one. That might actually be a pretty decently matched game.
That could be a good game.
Auburn, that's kind of one of those games anything can happen. Auburn can have a trash year and roll Bama as long as it's in Jordan Hare.
I feel
this game is in Jordan Hare, so that's not good news for Oklahoma. They could get upset there.
When was the last time they played each other? Or Oklahoma and Auburn?
I got no clue.
I don't think they have in my lifetime.
What helps them is then they got a bye week and then Texas. I would have thought on paper, Texas would be better, but Oklahoma beat Texas last year. So after losing, Texas rolled them 2 years ago. They won 55-0.
I think so, yeah, or 45-0 or
something like that.
Yeah.
Then they got South Carolina. That should be a win. Ole Miss, that would be a good game. Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Yeah. That's an evenly matched game. That'll be pretty interesting. And that's going to be 3rd Saturday in October or 4th Saturday. What a lovely day that'll be.
Halloween weekend.
Maine win. What are they even doing?
Maine?
Yeah, they got Maine coming to Norman. At Mizzou, that'll be a good one. Then the last 2 games are not good news for them. Bama and LSU. So that's a tough
LSU Oklahoma might be a fun game to watch. Is that the last game of the year for them too?
Yeah, that's Black Friday weekend.
Oh, that's a good game.
So
that's better than LSU Arkansas.
Yeah. That's in Death Valley, so that's a tough schedule for them, but I think Jackson Arnold could probably put up some decent numbers with that schedule. And then number 10, I got Utah. I think they're a top 10 program. Maybe not in terms of talent, but they show out. They get a lot of upsets. And, obviously they're a developmental program because they got depth. It doesn't matter what quarterback they put out there. They had some pig wrangler. This is the third string quarterback last year that knocked off USC.
Yeah, probably. I don't. They lock in when USC comes around.
They do not like USC. So that's my 6 through 10.
Wow. Let's see. Oh, starting at 6. Okay, starting at 6. I got Alabama, the Tide.
Okay. Respect that.
Yeah. The team above them, in my mind, makes sense. Like, I don't want to reveal them yet. But, okay. They lost the key lineman in J.C. Latham. That man was plowing dudes against Michigan.
Yeah, they also lost a coach, too. I think he was pretty decent.
I heard he was good, but I heard the next one's...
Caleb Ball's won everywhere he's been. That's what they're saying. They're just saying that he's not a big recruiter.
The national championship.
Well, they played Michigan. It was close.
It was.
Michael Penix was on his deathbed in that game.
He was never going to win that game. As a lefty, but I believe in Jalen Milroe. I think he'll finish on the stage for the Heisman. I don't know if he'll win it, but they got I don't know. He's kind of like Lamar Jackson. He's like Jalen Hurts style of running, but he ain't as thick as Jalen Hurts. I feel like unless he beefed up.
He's beefy. I mean, he's not as thick as Jalen Hurts, but dude's ripped. And
can he squat that much though?
He can clean 335 pounds, and that's pretty impressive for a QB.
I can do that when the cameras are off.
Okay, we'll check that out. It'll be on the next podcast.
Number 7. You're going to hate it, Florida State.
Oh, my goodness.
They got a good back 7 DBs. They got, what's that man's name? DJ Uiagalelei, maybe?
They do have...
Maybe he'll decide this is his year. Who knows?
Clemson's rolling.
Who knows? Joe Burrow was trash for 3 years, so maybe we'll see.
Joe Burrow was trash till he took that late hit against UCF.
I blame UCF for the horrors I have to go through as a Ravens fan now. Number 8, Missouri. I'm loving what I'm seeing in Luther Burden and Brady Cook.
It's bold.
I don't know if they play in high school together, but they already got chemistry. Luther Burden's a dog.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid receiver.
But I don't know. They'll probably end up falling once they got to play some of those SEC teams.
It's a tough SEC schedule.
But I think based on the teams behind them, I think they could handle all of them. Right after them is Notre Dame at 9. Kind of just got them there because
you're a believer, huh?
I'm a believer in their defense. I mean, they held, even though it was the Kyle McCord-led offense, they held Ohio State to 16 points.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
I remember watching
Travion pretty much busted out that run in the game to give them the dub.
So maybe their defense will lead them to getting plowed in the playoff by Alabama again or somebody.
And they have Riley Leonard, Duke's quarterback, coming in there.
That's right.
I don't know if that fits the Notre Dame scheme though. Normally they got pocket passers, and Riley Leonard, at least from what I saw this past year at Duke, he's a run first kind of guy. Now, granted, he was playing as a true freshman, and he got hurt a little bit, but. So, I mean, that maybe, Notre Dame's adapting to a more modern play style there with the QB position, but, yeah.
Duke's got Emory Jones now, right?
Duke's got,
what's his name?
They're going to have a lot of losses on the schedule. That's what Duke's got.
Don't they have the Texas quarterback?
The Texas?
With the dreads?
Malik Murphy?
Oh, that's his name. Don't they have him now?
Did he transfer?
Yeah.
He did?
I think he's at Duke now.
I thought he was sticking it out there. You see the picture of him compared to the other QBs at Texas?
I think massive. So. Yeah. He made them look like little kids.
He really did.
The last team in the top 10, I got Tennessee.
Rocky Top.
I don't really know much about them this season other than Nico. Yeah,
and Josh Heupel.
And I mean, I think
emphasis on the hype.
I think they'll. I don't know if they'll get the playoff. I don't know what their schedule looks like. I know they don't play Ole Miss, surprisingly, after you're looking at Ole Miss' schedule.
Well, they'll have Bama and Georgia probably, because they always do. Let's look up Tennessee's schedule. Pretty solid at baseball. They got that number 1 regional seed there.
Do they really?
They really always do.
Well, I don't know who they have as receivers.
So Tennessee's got Chattanooga win.
That could be a challenge.
NC State in the Dukes Mayo Classic. Bank of America Stadium. Dub.
Is that that's the second game of the season?
Yeah, but it's technically like week 1 because you got that week 0 that's like the August 31st. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you got Kent State, Oklahoma. That's at Oklahoma. That's kind of a toss-up there. Arkansas should be a win. Florida, I would say that should be easy for them, but Tennessee cannot beat Florida.
Is it in the swamp this year?
It's in Neyland this year. So.
Okay. That should help them out at least a little bit.
Bama at home, though. Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia at Georgia, UTEP, Vandy. So that could be like a 10-win season for Tennessee. I'd say like the high would be like a 10-win season for them. Maybe 11.
Who knows? If Alabama's center works against Jalen Milroe again, maybe they'll beat Alabama.
One play away from the national championship.
One play away from Jim Harbaugh still being the Michigan head coach, probably.
That's quite the possibility.
I think that was my last team. Now we're into the top 5.
Top 5. All right, I'm going to go 5-1.
All right.
5, Bama.
Okay.
I think that it's Bama.
Need to
more than
that.
4, Oregon. I guess I'm not necessarily that high on Oregon. I don't think that
I'm super high on Oregon.
I'm just not that high on Oregon, but I think they're just better than the previous teams that I listed, especially with the Hawaiian kid coming in there at QB. Dylan Gabriel.
And they got Dante Moore.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, what to expect from him because he was terrible.
I wonder if they'll use him like a Jason Bean, where he kind of just runs the ball, or he's just an extra dude there to throw off the defense.
Yeah. They're losing to Ohio State though. They even win the
I don't know. That's gonna be that might be game of the year.
That could be a good game.
I hope it's not like a letdown.
Where is that one?
I think it's at the Big House.
It's in Ohio, isn't it? Actually, Ohio is not the Big House. That's the
not the Big House. Yeah,
the shoe.
The toilet bowl, as some call it.
Who calls it that?
Michigan fans.
They do?
Yeah.
Then I got...
Is it at Ohio State?
I'm looking it up. I'm looking at the schedule. Ooh, it's in Oregon, so that helps out Oregon.
Okay.
Number 3, I got Texas. I know they got a lot of receivers that they lost.
Gaining some though.
And they lost their running back, but Quinn Ewers, I think I probably have him as my top quarterback in college over Carson Beck. So I'm expecting a lot out of Texas. It's going to be a tough schedule, but I think they proved themselves last year, beating Bama. In Bama. By double digits.
I tried.
For the first time in Nick Saban's
I think it was
Alabama career?
Time, maybe. I think, was it LSU that beat him there? I think it was Joe Burrow was the only one until Quinn Ewers did.
So I got high hopes for Texas.
Yeah.
Then my 1 and 2, it's really like a 1A and a 1B. So I got Georgia as 1. Only for the sole fact that Kirby has proved that he can do it. Winning back-to-back national championships. And then really, they almost one play away last year. Was it the SEC championship game where Jalen Milroe had the scramble on 4th and long for the touchdown?
That was against Auburn.
Oh, that was against Auburn. That's right.
But I think they lost that. They wouldn't have made the SEC championship.
But it was a close SEC championship game.
Yeah, it
coming down to the wire. Yeah. So they're one play away there from making 3 consecutive playoffs there, and some would say that they kind of got screwed out of the playoff last year. But either way, I got Georgia's 1, Ohio State 2. However, I think, the expectation for Ohio State this year, you definitely got to win the Big Ten.
I feel like it's 11-1 at worst is what they should go.
Yeah, and if that won Michigan, then Ryan Day might not make the conference championship game. He might get fired before that. But I think, even if they go undefeated, lose their first playoff game, like, dude, I think he's out after that. Like, they have to win a minimum of one playoff game for this season to even be considered like somewhat of a success. That's how loaded they are.
People is like, just getting your little 11-1 or 10-2 season at Ohio State ain't good enough. They're a national championship program, and they're not doing that recently.
Yeah, and I don't think that Ryan Day should be fired if he loses, because I mean he's proven he's a good coach. I mean, what's wrong with winning 11, 12 games a year? But that is the expectation from the Ohio State fans and the boosters, that you beat Michigan.
You gotta be Michigan. They cross out the M's on campus.
They don't even use the letter M. They call them the team up north. They don't even pronounce the state's name. But absolutely loaded. I know you got questions at quarterback. You got Will Howard, who got chased out of Kansas State. You got Devin Brown, who gets injured, but should be a solid. I mean, he's kind of like a Tebow style player, I would say. You got Julian Sayin, who I heard looks the best.
He is that guy.
Camp. And then you got Air Nolan. I mean, dude's name is Air, so I mean, he's got to be good at sports.
I don't know. Is he? I don't think
he's a 5-star.
I thought he wasn't a 5-star.
Oh, if he wasn't, well, he might not have been a 5 on like every website, but I'm pretty sure on some of them he was. I mean, he was top 5 like quarterback recruit. Maybe. You got both quarterbacks, Travion and Quinshon Judkins. You got Mecca Ibuka and Carnell Tate, receiver. You got Denzel Burke.
Jeremiah Smith ever?
Jeremiah Smith,
the next Megatron.
You got who's the safety? Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
And then you got the defensive end, JTT. So loaded, just loaded. Like they should be like this past year's version of Michigan, where they just run the table and then like 17 dudes go in the first round.
They won't be. But they'll run it till late in the season. Then
that's my 5 through 1.
Number 5, I got Ole Miss, the Rebels.
You got them ahead of Bama.
I do.
What's Lane doing? How much he paying you to put the SIP up there?
Like they got Jackson Dart. They got the 5th best transfer class in their schedule.
They got Joey Freshwater.
They have
the coach.
They have Furman, Middle Tennessee, Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, Kentucky, whatever HC is.
HC.
Oh, homecoming. Okay.
Oh.
At South Carolina, at LSU, bye week, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and Mississippi State.
It's cakewalk till you get to Georgia. I mean, they're pretty much guaranteed a playoff berth there.
Yeah, and I was going to say, they can lose to Georgia. As long as they win out the rest of that, they're making the playoff probably.
What did you look it up? What's the SEC? Do they have divisions, or is it just top 2?
They got divisions.
Okay.
And I think Ole Miss is in the side with Bama. So if like Texas takes out Bama, and they kind of all take each other out.
Yeah, who did Lane pay off to get that schedule?
I know. How did he not get Bama or Tennessee?
What a draw!
Or Ole Miss, Texas would be. I feel like that would be a good game.
That'd be pretty fire, yeah.
Number 4, I got the Oregon Ducks. I don't think that Colorado deserves the number 1 transfer portal class. I think it's Oregon. They got Jabbar Muhammad, top 5 cornerback in the country. Cam Alexander, another good corner. I think they already had him, actually, maybe. I don't know. Evan Stewart, who people are raving about. I don't watch Texas A&M. I don't know anything about him. Kobe Savage, safety from Kansas State.
You got a dude named Savage on your defense, and it's going to take you places.
And they got the 2 quarterbacks, so
you can only play one at a time.
Not necessarily.
Only one can throw the ball.
I think I want to see what their schedule is looking like. They got Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
See here. I feel like Idaho, Boise State, Oregon State. They play Oregon State September 14th.
That's a crime to do it like that.
UCLA, Michigan State, Ohio State, Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington. That's 2 losses at most. Maybe 1. It depends on how Michigan turns out.
They got Michigan and Ohio State. They're about to be this year's version of Penn State and go like 10-2 with losses to Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah, I don't think Dylan Gabriel will get it done.
Where's the Michigan game at?
At Michigan.
Man, that'll be a tough one. Big House is going to be rocking. When is that one?
November 2nd,
Oh wow!
late in the season.
I'd pay money to go see that game in the big house.
That's crazy. That
Be
we could
rocking.
go. We need. Oh wow! Wait, they do. We need next year. We need to go to Oregon at Maryland just so we can see Oregon in person if they play at
I
Maryland.
saw Oregon at UVA.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Got there halfway through the first quarter and it's 21-0.
Yeah, they dogged on.
Yeah.
That was the Marcus
Front row
Mariota
seats right behind Mariota, DeAnthony Thomas.
They just
They're time to be alive.
Anymore.
Shout out to Javin.
Next, oh my god. Next, number 3, I got Texas.
Yup, that's where I got
Quinn Ewers,
dog.
Top 2 quarterback in the country.
And it ain't 2.
It might be 2.
Who you got as 1? Carson?
No.
Say it ain't so.
I don't even want to say who I got.
Shador?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, like, the only reason that he was a bad quarterback is because of how many sacks he took, and that's his O-line's fault. I like his decision making. That man's a genius behind the line. I feel like with his decision making,
He ain't a genius when it comes to holding on to the ball.
he held on to it decently well. I feel like.
I mean, holding on to it and taking him sacks.
Oh well, some say he was stat padding his completion percentage, which is totally something I could see him doing.
That's not even a good stat to pad.
It really isn't. But to Texas, they got, even though they lost their 2 best receivers, they got this little guy, John Tay Cook. He's apparently the next guy. And then they got Isaiah Bond coming in from Bama.
Yeah, that's true. He's a guy.
And then at 2, I got Georgia.
Okay,
they got
they
got they had Carson Beck. People love him. Apparently,
people do love Carson Beck.
They got KJ Bolden, the safety freshman. I think he's going to be on the level of. Oh wow, the Oilers beat the Stars. Rip the city of Dallas.
What a way to find out.
But KJ Bolden, I expect him to live up to almost, like, I feel like he could be as good as what's his name? Caleb Downs was this past year in the SEC. And then speaking of Caleb Downs,
Caleb Downs is like the best freshman of all time.
I genuinely think if he keeps it up, there's going to be teams that are tanking for him. He's that good. I mean, he might be like the next GOAT safety.
Bro started at safety in a Bama
All-American too in the SEC.
Yeah,
and he already looks massive. Like,
yeah, Bama be like putting their dudes in like labs and like spring ball or something like that. I don't know how they be coming out like that.
And then I think they should go with Julian Sand. He got his black stripe removed like within a week of being there. So did Jeremiah Smith. They got 2 running backs to choose from. They got Denzel Burke still. But then they have Ryan Day, who, just like Cam Ward over at Miami, the whole Ohio State team, their biggest op is going to be Ryan Day this year.
I thought Cam Ward was supposed to go to Ohio State. Didn't he take a visit there?
I thought it was Penn State, he thought.
I thought he either took a visit to Ohio State or there were rumors that they were going to pay him like a NIL deal to get him on campus.
Probably.
I'm kind of surprised he picked Miami.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he from them parts of town?
Maybe. Let's see. Cam Ward. Well, he played basketball. He's from Texas.
Well, I don't know what he's doing in the swamps.
Oh, they want me to look up his NHL stats. Here he is. This is him? Cam Ward.
I didn't know he was goalie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's Miami's guy.
So, recapping my top 25, then I got at 25, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, NC State, SMU, Iowa. 20, Kansas State, Kansas, Louisville, Florida State, USC. 15, Mizzou, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Michigan, LSU. 10, Utah, Oklahoma, Clemson, Penn State, Ole Miss. 5, Bama, Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, UGA.
I got Miami, Iowa, Virginia Tech, K-State, Louisville, Oklahoma State, LSU, Penn State, Kansas, Clemson, Arizona, Oklahoma, USC, Michigan, Utah. Then in the top 10, we got Tennessee, Notre Dame, Missouri, Florida State, kind of, I don't know how I feel about that one. Alabama, Ole Miss, Oregon, Texas, Georgia, and the Buckeyes, the Ohio State University.
All right. And a little bonus here, too many teams, I think, to pick for the playoff, but let's go with the ACC, or I guess just the Power Four: ACC, Big 10, Big 12, SEC champions, and then Heisman finalists.
Starting in the SEC, Georgia's coming out on top of that conference.
You think?
Yeah.
Did Georgia and Texas play in the
I believe
regular season? I'm gonna look up Texas's schedule. Are you looking up Georgia's?
No. Are you looking up Texas?
I'm looking up Texas. Yeah. All right. So they got Colorado State dub. Michigan. I think they can handle Michigan.
Yeah.
UTSA dub. LA Monroe dub. Like, what are they doing playing these teams? Mississippi State. That's an SEC game dub. Oklahoma. It's always a toss-up, even though one team's always favored. That's going to be tough because after that they got Georgia, but that is the third Saturday in October, dude. That's going to be a crispy SEC evening. I'm going to need Vern Lundquist to come out of retirement for that game.
Wow, Georgia's schedule is...
Then they got Vandy, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, Texas A&M. So they could lose to Georgia in the regular season, have one loss, and then face them again in the SEC championship if it comes down to it.
Georgia might not win the conference. They got Clemson in Atlanta to open up the season at noon.
Wow. Should win, but
then Tennessee Tech at Kentucky, bye week at Bama, Auburn, Mississippi State at Texas, bye week. Then they play Florida at Ole Miss, Tennessee, UMass, Georgia Tech. I think they lose one of those games. I don't know who it's to. I think they lose to either Bama or Texas.
So who's your pick? You're still picking Georgia as SEC champs?
Yeah, I think they win the SEC championship, and they probably make the national championship.
I'm picking Texas. I think Texas is back.
I hope they win it. I'd rather see them win it than Georgia.
I'm going to have to see how much tickets are to that Georgia-Texas game.
Where is it at again? At Texas?
At Texas, October 19th, 2 days before my birthday. I might have to make that a little birthday trip there.
$330 each.
They got them for sale already?
Yeah.
$330?
Yeah, that's not bad considering who you're seeing and like the talent you're seeing.
I'm seeing a national championship game there.
So
all right, I'm picking Texas as my SEC champs. You got Georgia?
Georgia, probably.
All right, ACC.
I think Florida State sneaks that one out. I'm sure they probably got an easy schedule. And with the ACC's format now, all they got to do is just finish in the top two. They can afford to lose one game. And I don't even see, where is Clemson? Oh, Clemson's there. Probably be them and Clemson against each other in the... although maybe Miami will turn it around. Maybe they'll sneak up in there. They won't do that.
I think the ACC... Wait, so who'd you pick on? I zoned out.
I think I'm going to go with FSU, probably.
Florida State?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Clemson over SMU. SMU's got a cakewalk of a schedule here. Nevada... I don't even know what HCU is. Is that Holy Cross? BYU, TCU. They got a lot of U's on the schedule. They'll play Florida State, but it's at home. I think that'll be a big test for them, seeing if they're actually, like a good caliber team, playing a team like Florida State. Then they got to go at Louisville, at Stanford, Duke, Pitt, Boston College, UVA, Cal. So they got, besides Louisville and Florida State, that's an easy schedule for SMU. Mm-hmm. But I think Clemson will win the ACC. Big Ten. I think it's an easy pick for me. I'm going to Ohio State. I don't even think I need to go over that. I think I kind of did that
probably
myself.
saying based off what what we're seeing now. Surely they win it.
We're probably going to get a rematch of Oregon and Ohio State. Or what's the Big Ten doing with their conference championship? Are they having
I think they split
divisions?
It up. I don't. Yeah, I think
I'm
they
looking
kept
it up
divisions.
here. How will the Big Ten be divided? No, that says the Big 12. I clearly Googled the Big Ten, and they're giving me the Big 12. This says the Big Ten is eliminating East-West divisions, so it's possible for Michigan and Ohio State to play each other in the championship. Wow, people would have killed for that. So yeah, I think there'll probably be Oregon and Ohio State.
It's got to be. Probably that should be good rematch.
And then
Oregon's gonna get dogged twice, just like they got dogged by Washington twice this year.
And people thought that they were going to dog Washington twice, and they really didn't.
They should have
that second time
in a neutral site. Second game. How did they not get there?
Weren't they like 11-point favorites?
Maybe 9.
I was the one saying that that Washington was gonna do it.
I thought Oregon had them that day.
And then Big 12, it's kind of up for grabs there. Honestly, I think it might come down to the winner between you guys and Kansas State.
Hopefully,
Utah is in there. Who are the other new teams that are in the Big 12 this year?
I think Arizona might be in there, or Arizona State.
Yeah, let's see.
I
want the whole conference schedule. Just give me the conference.
Colorado, of course.
Oh, no.
UCLA might go like 0-12 in the Big Ten.
I don't know what they were thinking there. It's not a good look for them.
No.
They're really the little bro in that situation. All right, so we got in the Big 12, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Central Florida, Cincinnati, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, Utah, West Virginia. I got Utah, and then since I got Kansas ranked high, I got Utah, Kansas in the Big 12 championship. I think the Utes are going to get you boys, though.
They probably would if we played. I think I got 3 teams in mind. I got K-State probably, just because Texas and Oklahoma leaving really opens that up for them. Those are really the only teams blocking them from getting there. Sometimes Oklahoma State. But, if Colorado puts those transfers to use, then I feel like they could definitely keep up with the Big 12 teams. I could see them miraculously making it to the conference championship. But, read me the list again. Who are
of all the teams?
What Arizona teams are in there? Both Arizona teams? Ooh, that's interesting.
Arizona could be a dark horse.
It might honestly be a Pac-12 championship of Utah and Arizona. I think that might happen. And
that'd be unfortunate.
I'm gonna say one of them. I don't know who. Utah or Arizona, I think, might take the conference.
And then who you got as your Heisman winner?
Ooh. That's a good question.
I got Quinelope Ewers.
Really? You think he does it this year?
I think he does it.
I think, let me think. I got to go around a lot of players here.
If Ohio State, if one of their quarterbacks does good, puts up some numbers, but I think they're too balanced of a team.
Yeah, I don't know. And same thing for the running backs. I feel like they're both stats are going to be split, and I don't think they're going to give it to either of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock it in. Jalen Milroe. He's the Alabama's going to carry him. Not the team, but more so the reputation of Alabama. Big
stat guy down there.
And the fact that apparently he's gotten better in the offseason, so we'll see.
That's what I've heard.
And the being a dual threat quarterback helps. You're not winning it, I feel like, unless you are these days.
That's what they say.
It's tough to keep up.
It is tough. Well, I think that about sums it up.
Horns down.